In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on October 8, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Arkansas versus Mississippi State. The Mississippi State Bulldogs play host to the Arkansas Razorbacks on Saturday afternoon from Davis-Wade Stadium at Scott Field in a crucial Southeastern Conference showdown. The Razorbacks come in fresh off back-to-back losses, but are hoping that a return home could change their fortunes. For the Bulldogs, 2 wins in a row for their group has helped to improve the momentum for this group. Last year, the Razorbacks skirted by a 3-point win at home, while with 2 wins in a row in the series overall, things are trending forward for the Razorbacks, and they'll be hoping to shift the momentum back into their favor in this one. For the Bulldogs, being at home could be crucial for this group in what is expected to be one of the top Southeastern Conference matchups of the weekend. The Mississippi State Bulldogs and Arkansas Razorbacks have had different successes on offense. The Bulldogs are known for their air raid offense that head coach Mike Leach stands by. Mississippi State quarterback Will Rogers has thrived in this offense, throwing for 19 touchdowns and over 1,700 yards. Rogers has been distributing the football all over the field, with 4 wide receivers accumulating at least 200 yards receiving this season. Wide receivers Rara Thomas and Caleb Ducking have led this unit with a combined 9 receiving touchdowns in the season. The only game the Bulldogs lost this season was against LSU in Death Valley. Mississippi State answered back against a ranked Southeastern Conference opponent in the Texas Aggies, defeating them 42-24 last week. They answered the question if they could beat a tough opponent in the Southeastern Conference with that win. The Arkansas Razorbacks have a big question to answer with their starting quarterback, KJ Jefferson. He took a big hit last week, and it resulted in a head injury. It will still be uncertain if the quarterback will sit out on Saturday because of concussion protocols. He has been more than just a running quarterback this year, throwing for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. He has gotten a lot of help from his supporting cast, having 7 players averaging at least 10 yards a catch. Arkansas is one of the worst passing defenses in the country, and the defense will decide this game. This year, Arkansas ranks 124th in the country in passing defense. Mike Leach and the Bulldogs should be able to take advantage of this with their explosive passing attack. The Razorbacks are 0-4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games, following an against the spread loss. Last week, Alabama defeated Arkansas and covered the spread. Mississippi State is 5-1 against the spread against a team with a winning record, and Arkansas has a record of 3-2. So the Mississippi State Bulldogs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The big question mark this week will be if Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson will suit up on Saturday. He accounts for 27% of the run success and is the second leading rusher on the team. The passing game has improved, with only throwing 1 interception and 9 touchdowns. It will be very difficult to make up that production with quarterback Cade Fortin. Fortin in his career only has thrown for 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. Without KJ Jefferson at quarterback, we should expect the Razorbacks to lean on the running game even more than they already do. The clock shouldn't show a lot of stoppages on the offensive side of the ball for Arkansas. Mississippi State has shown that they can score in bunches this season through the air. I still believe they will do that on Saturday. Arkansas may not get over the total with their offense. The Razorbacks are 4-1 to the under in their 5 games following an against the spread loss. Mississippi State is 6-1 to the under in their last 7 home games against a team with a winning record. The Razorbacks are 3-2 on the season. While I think Mississippi State puts up well over 30 points, I think Arkansas will struggle to score without Jefferson. Now, if Jefferson somehow plays, which doesn't look like it, the total will jump into the 60s. However, Arkansas offense has had issues against better defenses lately. They had scored just 47 points over their last 2 games with Jefferson. The Bulldogs defense has allowed 24 or less points in 4 of their first 5 games. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Michigan versus Indiana. Number 4 Michigan will try to maintain its perfect record when it travels to Indiana on Saturday afternoon. The Wolverines have opened Big Ten play with a pair of wins over Maryland and Iowa, improving to 5-0 overall this season. Indiana got off to a 3-0 start this year, but it has proceeded to lose consecutive games to Cincinnati and Nebraska. The Wolverines have been significantly undervalued all year after losing key players on defense, and many people were expecting them to take a step back off their season last year that saw them win the Big Ten title. Michigan comes in at 5-0 with 4 blowout wins, and the team also has been tested against an impressive Maryland team as well. The Wolverines' defensive front and pass rush have been very strong, and the Hoosiers haven't been able to consistently run the ball in a single game yet this year. Michigan should be able to make an inconsistent Indiana offense rely on a passing game that has struggled the Hoosiers' last 2 games. Indiana has been most disappointing on defense this year, and the Wolverines' strong running game should be successful yet again this week. Indiana's head coach Allen is known as a defensive mind, but the Hoosiers haven't been able to stop any of the more impressive offenses they have faced so far this season. Western Kentucky put up 545 yards of total offense, despite having a new quarterback this year, and Indiana's defense struggled the last 2 weeks against Cincinnati and Nebraska as well. Michigan is the much better team on both sides of the ball. The Wolverines do have a big game against Penn State coming up in 2 weeks, but Michigan should be focused on the road here for this in-conference game. So the Michigan Wolverines to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Even though Michigan's offense has been strong, Harbaugh has still been conservative with his young quarterback, and the Wolverines are likely to focus on running the ball if they get ahead on the road against Indiana on Saturday. Blake Corum leads an impressive group of running backs for the Wolverines, and Michigan is likely to stay conservative and focus on running clock if they get out to a big early lead, as is likely. Indiana has no running game at all right now to take pressure off their offensive line and inconsistent passing game, and Michigan's defensive front has been very strong. The Wolverines are giving up just 11 points per game, and Michigan should be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball against on Saturday. The Hoosiers scored just 21 points last week against a very weak Nebraska defense, and just 23 points against Illinois. Indiana will see what is by far the toughest defense they have seen so far this season against Michigan. Michigan might have a powerful offense, but it also plays a methodical brand of football. The Wolverines lean heavily on Corum and their rushing attack, which generally keeps games played at a slower pace. They have gone under in 5 of their last 6 games. Indiana knows it needs to keep the ball away from Corum, so the Hoosiers will be using plenty of play clock on Saturday as well. These teams have cashed the under in 4 of their last 6 head-to-head meetings. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. TCU versus Kansas. A pair of surprising ranked Big 12 opponents battle in search of a conference win in the Sunflower State on the gridiron. The number 17 TCU Horned Frogs are on the road as they travel to face the number 19 Kansas Jayhawks, with College game day coming to Lawrence for the first time in school history Saturday afternoon. TCU blitzed number 18 Oklahoma 55-27 at home last Saturday in their previous contest. Kansas held off Iowa State 14-11 as a 3-point underdog in their previous contest last Saturday. In the all-time series between the schools, the Horned Frogs own a 25-9-4 advantage and have won the last 3 meetings. That includes a 31-28 home victory in the most recent matchup on November 20th, 2021. TCU is 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games and 7-17 against the spread in their last the 24th of October games. The over is 4-1 in TCU's last 5 games. Kansas is 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 games and 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 home games. The over is 19-8-1 in Kansas' last 28 games. The underdog is 7-3 against the spread in these 2 teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings. College game day is heading to Lawrence, Kansas for the first time ever, at least for football. Go figure. And here is a fun fact to top it off. Both of these teams are perfect against the spread this year too. TCU has been a surprise. In their first year under Sonny Dykes, this was expected to be a transition year. TCU was supposed to be mediocre, struggling on offense with 2 quarterbacks sharing time, and with a defense that was thin and rebuilding. None of this has been the case. Instead, Max Duggan threw for over 300 yards and 3 scores last week, and the offense poured on 668 yards against the Oklahoma Sooners. Over half of that gaudy yardage total was on the ground too. TCU has found an offensive identity. What worries me about Kansas is that their offense totally disappeared last week against Iowa State. Were it not for 3 missed field goals by the Cyclones, the Jayhawks would would have crashed back down to earth, and you can bet that this point spread would be even greater. I think that matters. The Jayhawks went for 213 yards of total offense last week, and Jalon Daniels only attempted 14 passes, completing 7 for 93 yards. I think Iowa State might have exposed something that TCU can see and exploit. Kansas has a lot of energy and momentum going for them, especially with game day in town. The home crowd will be hoping, and the optimism will be high. However, I think Kansas has hit the end of its run, and TCU is playing much better football at the moment. So the TCU Horned Frogs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. TCU has blown over the total in 3 of their 4 games this season. The Horned Frogs have seen combined totals of 51 versus Colorado, 76 versus Tarleton State, 76 versus SMU, and 79 points versus Oklahoma in their games this season. In Vegas, the sportsbooks had posted totals of 59.5, 66.5, 72, and 70 points in those contests. Kansas has gone over the number in 3 of their 5 games on the year. The Jayhawks had combined point totals of 66 versus Tennessee Tech, 97 versus West Virginia, 78 versus Houston, 62 versus Duke, and 25 versus Iowa State points in their game. Those contests had totals at the sportsbooks of 61.5, 60, 58, 65.5, and 59 points, respectively, so the last 2 have fallen short of the mark. While both teams are explosive offensively, they have been decent on the defensive side of the ball. This total feels a bit high as we're looking at the teams having to be in the 30s. This one falls short of the total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.